Hello. Hi there. Hi, guys. How are you? How are you? Let's wait for people to come in. How are you? Okay, so just so you know, I am live on Instagram and also on YouTube. So if you want to see what's around me, go to YouTube, okay? Fabi English on YouTube. All right. And yeah, because on Instagram, I only have this space. And on YouTube, I have way more space. Okay. And you can see this amazing board that I have here. All right. Okay. So you can start by telling me where you're watching this from. Okay. So I love to know where you guys are watching from. Okay. Okay. Juju's knocking on my door. Maybe she will stop. All right, guys. So yeah. So just tell me where you're watching this from. Okay. Juju is knocking on my door. Should I grab her? Maybe I should. Maybe I won't. Did I say hello to Juju? Okay, I'll get Juju. Okay, I'll get Juju. 1 second. Hey, Jujuzinha. Okay, Juju's here now. Juju, say hello. 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 She just woke up. Yep, put her down. All right. Okay, so let me see. Hello, how are you? Some hello. Okay, some Costa Rica. That's cool. Okay. Anybody else? I have Costa Rica. Morocco. Wow. I think you're the first person who says that you're watching from Morocco. Okay, cool. All right. So again, guys, so if you want to see the full of everything, go to YouTube. Fabi English on YouTube. All right. Okay. So let's get started. So, welcome to another IELTS journey with Fabi. Okay, so here we talk about everything about the IELTS test, strategies, and everything that will help you get the score you need and do the test only once. Okay, guys, do the test only once because no one should be doing the test more than once. Okay, so my name is Fabi for those of you who don't know me. Okay, and I'm an English teacher and I live here in Brisbane, Australia. And here I work at universities and also English colleges. Okay. And what I do most of my time is helping people get the score they need on the IELTS test. Okay. Wow. Someone from India. Cool. Lots of highs here. Nice. Cool. All right. So today we're going to talk about listening. Mm-hmm. Listening. Okay. So if you have problems with listening for the IELTS test, hands up, please. If you have problems with the listening for the IELTS test, hands up. Anybody? Yeah? No one yet? Okay. I personally think is the easiest part of the test, but most people disagree with me. Okay. So today we're going to talk about listening. So, guys, if you have any questions, yes, someone said yes. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a few things today that are going to help you a lot. So, guys, if you have any questions, pop the questions in the chat. Okay, so if you are on YouTube, you can also pop the questions in the chat. If I miss your question, I'll probably go back to it at the end. All right, but I'll get to it. Okay, all right. So today we're going to talk about 6 do's and don'ts for the listening part of the IELTS test. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 things that you should be doing, 3 do's, and 3 things that you shouldn't be doing, 3 don'ts. Okay, so just to let you know what I'm talking about. When we're talking about the do's, I'll have this one here. Do. Okay, and when I'm talking about the don'ts, we're gonna have this one thumb down. All right, just so you know what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Okay, so let's start with the don'ts, shall we? Okay, so let's start with the don'ts. So, don'ts. Let's go. So, oh no, before I tell you about the don'ts, let me tell you something else. Everything I share with you here, okay, is based on my experience with my students. Okay, so all the things that I've been trying with them and practicing with them, because I help lots of people, and I'll tell them, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And then they give me lots of feedback. And that's what I share with you here. All right. So the information I'm going to share with you today has been tested and proved by my students. Okay. And remember, guys, they did the test only once. All right. Cool. Now, first don't. Let's start with the first don't. This can be very hard for a lot of people. Okay. And it's a skill that you learn. The more you practice, the more you learn, right? It's the don't try to understand everything when you're doing the IELTS listening test. Yeah. Don't try to understand everything they're saying. I know it sounds a bit crazy, okay? But remember, you don't have to understand everything. You just have to get the answer that you need to complete whatever you have to complete, to choose the best option, to write the word, okay? So you just need bits of information. You don't need to understand everything, okay? And usually, people who miss lots of answers, these are the ones who actually are trying to understand everything. So that's a don't, okay? No, don't try to understand everything, okay? What you have to do is just to have an idea of what people are talking about and just focus on the answer. That's what you have to do. Okay. And again, guys, this is actually a very good skill. All right. So you can understand people better also. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to understand everything that people say. You understand like 50%, 60%, and you have an idea. Okay. So that's definitely one thing that you shouldn't be doing, especially when you're doing the IELTS test. Because remember, I don't know if you know, I don't know if you're new to the IELTS test, but for the listening part of the IELTS test, you only listen once. Okay. You only listen once. So you have to be very, very effective. Okay. So that's one thing that you shouldn't be doing. Okay. Don't try to understand everything. That's the first thing. The first don't. The next don't is, okay, don't get stuck if you miss one question or one answer for that matter. Okay. So just imagine you were doing the IELTS test, and then you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you miss 5, and they're still talking, and you're still number 5, and they're talking, and you're still trying to get number 5, and then the listening finishes, and in addition to missing number 5, you miss 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't do that. Okay. If you miss number 5, move on. Go to number 6, go to number 7. Okay? Because like let me show you what happens sometimes. Okay? So you get number 5, number 5. Talk number 5, number 5, and you go, oh my god, they're saying number 8. Blah, blah, blah. And then you miss 5, 6, and 7. Okay, guys? If you feel like you missed one, keep going. Move on. Okay? What is one strategy that you can do? When you finish, they give you like a minute to revise. Go back later. Because if you keep thinking about that one, you're probably going to miss the other ones. Because remember, the listening is not going to pause so you can remember number 5. Okay, guys. And I've seen lots of people making this mistake. Okay, doing something like this. All right. And again, I've seen it. Okay. And then sometimes I get students, and they miss like 3. And I was like, oh, why did you miss all of these ones? Like, oh, because I forgot this. I didn't get this one. And I was like, keep going then. They're like, oh yeah, I'll try next time. Okay. So that's why again, it's a great idea to keep practicing. Okay, guys, because you can learn from your mistakes. And the more you practice, the higher your scores. Okay. So the first one was don't try to understand everything. Second one was don't get stuck. Okay. And the next one is I'm going to tell you this one out. You're going to think I'm crazy, but then I'm going to explain why. Okay. While you're doing the listening part for the IELTS test, and you have those questions where you have to put the word in, don't worry about the spelling. Don't worry about the spelling. Who thinks I'm crazy? Because I said that. Yes, guys. So when you're listening, don't worry about the spelling. Okay? Don't. Just write. Just type, 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 type. Why? If you have to write a word that you don't know the spelling for, okay, what's going to happen? We're going to go back to the previous one. You might get stuck. Okay? And you don't want to get stuck. So what do? You go ahead and you write anything in any way. I don't remember if better is double T or not. Write whatever. Okay? I don't know if I don't know, phone like is with F or PH. I can't remember. I don't know if street is one E or double E. Okay? It doesn't matter. Okay? Don't worry about your spelling. Just write anything. Just write anything. Because at the end, you will have time to revise. Okay? And it's something interesting. So I've been helping some students practice for the IELTS test on the computer. Yeah, because nowadays most people will be doing the test on the computer. Okay, guys, if you're gonna do the IELTS test soon, can you put in the chat if you're gonna do on the computer? Okay, so you can just say computer. And if you're gonna do on paper, you can just write paper. Okay, so most people they will be doing the IELTS test on the computer. All right, and however, most of the practice that we get, okay, it's on paper, right? Some people print, okay, and others they read in the computer. Okay, so they go to the computer, okay, and they read in the computer. Okay, however, doing the actual test online, like on the computer itself, when you go to the test center and you do the test on the computer, can be a bit tricky. Okay, that's why you have to practice in advance. And one of the things that you can do when you're doing the test on the computer is at the bottom left, you have all the questions. So you click on the questions and you go straight to that question, right? And it looks like if you go right click, I think it's a circle. No, it's a square. If you right click and you tap review, it becomes a circle, meaning that you have to go back and revise that one. Okay, so if you're going to do the IELTS test on the computer, you have the opportunity to mark those ones that you want to revise later. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're doing listening or reading, so you can revise that. So let's say that you're doing your test, okay, and you forgot the spelling for a word. You know the word, you heard the word, but you forgot the spelling. So what do? Maybe you can just right click. I'll go back to that later. Okay, which takes me to the do's. Okay, so now we're gonna go on the do's. Okay, do's. The first do of the listening test. You cannot finish your listening test if you don't do this, which is to check your spelling. You have to check your spelling. So remember, I said one don't is actually to just write whatever. Okay, Instagram does that when I go like that. Okay, Instagram, like that. Cool. Yes, don't. Okay, so don't check your spelling. Okay, don't worry about, don't check, sorry. Don't worry about your spelling. Don't worry about it, because then you will check it, because you have to check it. Okay, guys. So remember, just think about this. When you're doing the test, your focus is to answer the question. Get the answer, get the answer, get the answer. Then you can go over it. At the end of the test, they say, now you have some time to check your answers. They give you time to check your answers. Why? Because it's important to check the answers. Okay. And one of the things, the top thing you should check is your spelling. Definitely your spelling. Okay. You don't know how many students say this to me. I said, oh, 5. I said, oh, what score did you get? They're like, oh, I got a 7. In listening, yeah. Actually, I got a 7 if I consider my spelling mistakes. I was like, you can't. What's your score? 6.5. Okay. So many people, they're making mistakes just because of the spelling, because your listening is good, your spelling is not. Okay. So take the time to improve your spelling. Okay, guys. And remember, in addition to the listening, you will also be doing the writing. Okay. And in your writing, you will need spelling. So if your spelling is terrible, take the time to practice a little bit for the IELTS test, okay? Because you have to check your spelling. So one, do check your spelling, okay? They give you time, okay, during the IELTS test. If you're going to do on paper, you have 10 minutes at the end. If you're going to do on the computer, they give you some time too, okay? So first, do check your spelling. Second, do. This is going to sound crazy, but you have to do this. Check your grammar. Check your grammar. Did you know you also have to check your grammar? Yeah. How, Fabi? Well, especially with the IELTS test, right? We have to complete sentences sometimes. So you have a sentence, right? And then you have the gap and you have to put something there. So when you have to put something there, usually these words, you're going to hear the word. You have to write the exact word that you hear. You don't change the word, right? You don't change. You hear going, you write going. You hear shoes, you write shoes, right? However, depending on where you're from, depending on your like difficulties, you will miss something. For example, for some reason, some people sometimes they hear, but they don't hear, let's say the word is going, right? Going. The word is going. So the word is going, right? And some people, they will, this one is a bit not good enough, this one. Let's try this one. Let's see. Oh, that's better. So I say the word going, right? If you're watching me on YouTube, you can see this. So some people, they don't hear the ing, okay? Or the answer is shoes. And some people, they don't hear the s, the plural, okay? And you don't hear it. So, but there's a way you can fix it. You can read the sentence. Again, checking, revising, okay? So you read the sentence and you check. So for example, a common one that I've seen heaps of times. So they have the word avoid. Let's say, every time I have avoid, after avoid, I need verb ing. So let's say that you heard, okay, you heard it, and then you didn't hear the ing. But when you read, when you're checking, you say, oh, avoid go or avoid going. Oh, avoid going. You write ing. Okay. Check your grammar. Or, for example, the answer is shoes, but you heard shoe, but you have are. And let's say you have something like there are. So there are shoes. There are shoes. Okay. So when I say revise grammar, that's what I'm talking about. Because if the answer is going, but you write go, incorrect. If the answer is shoes, but you write shoe, again, incorrect. Okay, guys. So check your spelling and check your grammar. All right. Extremely important also. Make sure you check your grammar. Okay, 100%. Check your grammar. Nice. Then, oh yeah, another do. Do you know when you are starting the IELTS test, the listening, and they say, now you have some time to look at questions 1 through 5. Now you have some time. This time is about 30 seconds. 30, 40, okay? And some people don't use that time. Okay, they go, oh, I'm not sure. What do I have to do? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, use that time well. Okay, lots of people forget to use that time. Okay, guys. So those 30 seconds are extremely important. Okay, you have to use them. How do you do that? Just go over the questions. Okay, so each question will have a different strategy. Okay, so that's your job. Okay, to practice and learn each type of question and think about each strategy that you have to use for each part. Okay. So when you know the strategy, you can use those 30 seconds very, very well. Okay. So, for example, if you have um, sentences that you have to put the word, what should you do? You read the sentence and you think about the word. Okay, that's one way to prepare. Okay, because guys, if you don't prepare, then you're probably not going to be able to answer the questions. I mean, listen for the answers. Okay, that was our number 3. Okay, guys, if you have questions, you can pop it in. Let me see if there's any questions here. I'm going to revise what we talked about in a moment. Okay, hello, Colombia, Costa Rica. Okay. Morocco, lots of things. Let me see some hellos. India, cool. All right, let me see. I didn't miss any questions. I don't think I missed any questions. Okay, if you have questions, pop them in. Okay, so let's talk about the do's and don'ts again. So the 3 don'ts. Sorry, the 3 don'ts again. The 3 don'ts. Okay, one of the don'ts was don't try to understand everything. Okay, don't try to understand everything. Okay, there's a hello. Hi, teacher, greetings from Costa Rica. Another Costa Rica is very popular today. Usually Colombia is the most popular country in the live. If you have a question, you can pop the questions in, all right? So one don't. First don't is don't try to understand everything. Okay, because you don't have to understand everything, you just have to get the answer. Okay, and sometimes when we try to understand everything, it's a bit too much and overwhelming. Okay, so if you are the kind of person that when you do the listening test you feel like, oh my god, that's too much, it's probably because you're trying to understand everything. Okay, focus on the question, focus on the question. All right, cool. The second don't is, if you miss a question or an answer, if you miss one, keep going. Don't get stuck. Don't try to remember that one, because when you're trying to remember that one that you missed, you're probably going to miss the next ones. Okay? So if you miss one, keep going, forget about that one, go back to later. Remember, you can go back to it later. Go back to it later and just guess. Okay? Next one. Don't worry about the spelling. Okay, so when you're listening and you have to complete something, don't worry about the spelling. Okay, don't worry about the spelling, because you will be able to check the spelling later. And that's one of the do's. Okay, that's one of the do's. Check your spelling. You have to check your spelling, guys, because if your spelling is incorrect, you will lose points. Okay, so make sure you check your spelling at the end. Okay, and in addition to check your spelling, another do is check your grammar. Yes, okay, grammar is important to listening too. Few people talk about it actually. Yeah, every time I tell my students about that, they go, "What? I didn't know that." But yeah, check your grammar, because if it's plural and you don't have the plural, or maybe another thing that happens is like walked. With the past and the ed, sometimes people don't listen to the ed, right? So people don't listen to the ed. And then if you don't listen to the ed, you're going to make a mistake. Okay, so be very careful. And again, if you don't listen, that's fine, because then you can check the sentence later. If you check the sentence and you notice that the grammar requires ed, let's say because it's the past, that's okay. Okay, guys, just go ahead and add ed at the end. Okay, so check your grammar before you submit your listening. Okay, and one of the most important things that people take for granted is before you start actually answering the questions, they give you 30 seconds, about 30, 40 seconds for you to look at the questions. Okay, guys, so use that time well, okay? But the best way to use the time is by knowing the strategies, okay? Know the strategies that you need for each type of question. That's the best way, okay? Yes, you have to use it, okay? Use those 30 seconds. Check the questions before you listen. But the best way is by knowing exactly how to use those 30 seconds. And how do you know that? When you practice, okay? In each type of question, we have a specific one. Okay. Okay. And then someone said here, teacher, I work at a dental company and I have to contact doctors by call. I'm so scared. So you're scared of talking on the phone, is it? Oh yeah. So guys, so talking on the phone can be a problem for some people. Okay. I think that one of the reasons is when we can see the person is a bit easier to understand. All right. So when we can see the person, and on the phone we don't. Okay. So imagine you can see me. All right. It's like listening to a podcast, right? But okay, but in your case, you work for a dental company, right? One thing that maybe you could do is just make sure that you are aware of the vocabulary that you need, and just make sure that you are aware of some of the questions that these dentists might ask you. Okay, because I feel that what makes us nervous or scared, in your case, you said, I'm so scared. So, in your case, when you're scared, right? I think that the surprise scares you. So, my advice, because I think what you're telling me is that you were calling the dentist and you probably have to talk about the same thing, right? So if you have to talk about the same thing, maybe the dentist will say the same things. Okay. So maybe just prepare yourself for what you will hear. Think about it. Okay, if I ask the dentist this question, that's probably going to be his answer. Okay. And that way you're more prepared and maybe you won't feel so scared. Okay. Try that and let me know. Okay, because I agree, but I think that the things that scare most people is just the surprise. Okay, yeah, try that and let me know. Okay. Okay, guys, any other questions for me? So we're talking about listening. It's funny that the talking on the phone was mentioned. Yeah, because people hate talking on the phone. Okay, if you hate talking on the phone in English, put your hands up. Or write in the chat, me. Thank you for the tip. I love it. Yay, awesome. Yeah, so just think about that, champ, because maybe just prepare yourself for the call, like it's not like, oh my God, what are they going to say? Think about it. You probably called some people already. You asked questions and you got some answers. Okay, so yeah, just prepare yourself a little bit. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions today? No? All right. Okay. So the normal question, I'm going to go. Okay. And remember, you can always watch this on YouTube. Okay. So if you want to see all of it, okay, go over to Fabi English on YouTube. I have a board here that you can see because this is Instagram. But if you are on YouTube, you can see it. All right. And you have. I have lots of things here to share with you. All right, okay, I'm gonna go, but I will back. Okay, another question. It's so hard to stay focused in the last listening part. Just one person talking. Yes. Okay. So with the listening part of the IELTS test, part 4, the last part, is the most difficult part. It's my favorite though. It's my favorite part. So it's the last part, right? And it's academic. So it will be one person talking. So when you're doing part 4, you have to imagine you are inside a classroom, inside a university, and a teacher or a lecturer or a professor is talking, 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 and you're taking notes, taking notes, taking notes. That's part 4. Okay. I feel that the best way to prepare for part 4 is number 1, okay, try to get more academic vocabulary. Okay. So reading things that are a bit more academic. So let's Andrea, I think. Yeah. So let's say that you practice for listening part 4, and you got a topic that was very hard for you. Let's say the topic was geography. What do? Maybe you can look up some vocabulary for geography, academic vocabulary for geography, okay? Or you can read things, okay? Read things, okay? Or even better, okay, I just had an idea now. When you have a part 4 that was very difficult, okay, maybe you should go to the script, okay? So you know how you usually have it written down also, okay? So read that and maybe get the vocabulary from there to improve. That's one thing you can do. Or you can listen, for example, to more podcasts. But my favorite one is TED Talks. If you think about it, what is TED Talk? TED Talk is one person talking. What is IELTS Part 4? One person talking. Okay. So even if the topics are different, you will get used to listening to one person talking, because I think we're quite used to listening to conversations. Okay. Watching movies. Okay. But it's hard sometimes to listen to one person talking and you can get distracted. Right. So my advice would be TED Talks. Try TED Talks. Okay. Any other questions, guys, for me today? Lots of questions. That's so cool. Any more questions? Mm-mm. If you don't have more questions, I'm going to have breakfast. I'm hungry. No more questions for me? Nope. All right. No problem. No problem. Okay. So, as I said before, just catch this later on YouTube. Okay. So, Fabi English on YouTube. Okie dokie. And you're going to have the board and everything there. Okay. And if you have any requests for next live will be on Thursday. Okay. Around same time, 5:30 a.m. here in Brisbane, Australia. And yeah, so if you have any questions, send me a DM. Okay. Or pop your questions in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to head out and I'll see you later. Bye.